Hello everybody and welcome to the ClassicWhoZone Classic Who Zone, and we're doing Galaxy 4 because I did a big mess up, so unfortunately we're doing the reconstruction version. The animation version unfortunately is not available online, unfortunately. So that's what we're going to do, but it'll be the only reconstruction that we will be doing, but that's my bad. But we'll keep going anyway and we'll bring on our guests. So we've got the one and only Queen Charlotte.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome. I'm eating me old feckin' hair here. Okay, it's getting all over the place here. I look like a bleeding hippie. Anyway,
a bit closer to the light.
That's it. The next person we have coming on is the real Super Doctor.
Hey, how you doing?
Not too bad. And it wouldn't be a Classic Who stream if we didn't have the one and only Mr. Problem Being on board. Welcome.
I know things are tough, but eating your own hair, like,
yeah. It's hair spaghetti.
Something got a washing machine going on.
Yeah, that's me. I thought I timed it, but of course I've mistimed it again as usual because I'm an idiot. But there you go. Busy man. I'm doing the household chores as well. I'm a legend. You might as well say I'm a bit of a legend of
a domestic god.
You've jinxed yourself now. Something's going to go wrong in the stream.
Anyway, let's briefly. I was going to wait until the end of the stream, but I just want to get it over and done with because I don't want to talk about it at the end of the stream. So obviously the new Legend of the Sea Devils trailer dropped. Again, I will say the trailer does look impressive. But the problem is that this is what Chibnall does now. He gives us all the glitz and glamour and there's no substance whatsoever. So, look, while I'm still hoping that we get something decent, I have already prepared myself to be let down again by this man. I just hope the Sea Devils come out of it without being totally destroyed. That's my only wish, and that's my only hope, is that the Sea Devils aren't destroyed in the process of them destroying Doctor Who. But we'll see. But we'll briefly get a word from each of the panelists on the trailer. So, guys, without further ado, we'll start with you, Queen Charlotte. What did you think of it?
It really gave me Flux trailer vibes, where it was a lot of obvious, really impressive CG, like mini shots, but nothing about the story, nothing really. There wasn't a lot of stuff to do with Jodie or Yaz or anybody, and it just came across to me as a look at all the pretty lights, like you were saying, look at all the pretty lights, don't think about anything else sort of trailer. So that doesn't give me confidence at all. Anybody else?
Lee, sorry, my audio just cut out there.
Yeah, I agree with Charlotte. It's got very fluxy looks about it. It looks very pretty. I like the ghost ship that they're going to be on by the looks of it, which is probably a cloaked spaceship or something, or a submersible. We've got a nice shot of the TARDIS under the sea, which looked pretty good. I mean, it looks great, but it's got Jodie Whittaker and Mandip Gill in it, and John Bishop looking like a Pratt. Surprise. And then we had Yaz admonishing somebody, calling them a child. So I assume that's going to be her being angsty with the Doctor, or having another go at Dan, which wouldn't be surprising, would it?
Yeah. Dan looks like an idiot in this trailer, by the way. He's dressed in pirate costume with a bleeding eye patch on him, and he comes out either of the TARDIS or wherever he comes out of, and he just looks absolutely ridiculous. And the Doctor says to Yaz, "Did you put him in that?" Like, it's just going to be... we already know it's going to be a disaster, man.
Yeah, I mean, the Sea Devils look great. So there's that. I mean, they always, I think one good thing about Chibnall is, he does do some good design stuff.
Yeah.
Shame his writing doesn't do it justice.
That's true. That's true.
But
Real
we'll
Super
see.
Doctor?
I think this looks like a glorified disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really, really not liking this at all. The acting looks, well, but the sound of it looks bad. The Sea Devil voice is gone. I mean, it's just, it looks good. Visually, it looks good, the trailer, but I think it's a load of rubbish. I don't think it's Doctor Who at all. I mean, the way the Sea Devils are fighting in that, and I mean, they're
Yaz with a sword,
the swords and everything like that. But I liked what I saw was it could be the Merker going under the sea and coming up and then going for the boat. But I don't like Dan's reaction to it. I mean, it's so contrived, it's so fake, it's so phony.
All the acting had like a farce element about it. Like they weren't taking it, or they were overacting. Like all of them, not just Jodie. It was just like too almost high adventure, but like almost taking the mick acting that you get in typical classic movies.
Yeah, and then Yaz saying, "No, the Doctor is childish sometimes," and she said, "Yeah," just like that, and I'm not.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a bar fest, I reckon. But look, we won't.
Well, it looks like it's set in one place. I mean, like most of it seems to be set on the ship, so it looks like it's going to be mainly set on one scene. Not one
Joker. They've done worse trailers, but I think we were all just saying we're used to having this type of trailer now, so it's not impressing us as much.
Yeah, I'd like to have seen more of the pirates, rather than focusing on the idiot lead roles. Have some more from the pirate. I mean, like, I know that there was a real Chinese woman pirate back in the day, but they've named it something different to what she's named in history. So I don't know if it's meant to be the same woman or if it's someone they've changed.
And the ship that they're going after, that is a real ship, and it is a real mystery why all the crew just disappeared on it. So they are using bits and bobs.
Yeah, well, we could have done that with the Mary Celeste or something like that.
Well, that's what the ship is. That's the ship, Mary Celeste. So that's real.
Yeah. I did that in the chase, though. So that's already been done. Isn't it? Mary Celeste?
Yeah.
That was in the chase, wasn't it?
Right.
You're no better than me.
Right, anyway, let's move swiftly on because I don't want to dwell too much on it. We'll watch it. We'll see what happens with it. It's certainly going to be an interesting one, but I'm not expecting that, to be quite honest with you. We'll see if he can surprise me. He hasn't surprised me in 5 years, so I don't even know why I think he's still going to do it, but we'll see. You never know. We'll never know. Anyway, let's get into this. Is everybody in the chat ready? Remember, we are doing the animated.
Are we doing the Peter Purvis intro? Do people have that in the chat?
Yeah, if you don't, then wait 3 minutes because we're going to watch it.
Right.
3 minutes and 19 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Talbot says Dave Talbot. I don't know. Dave Talbot. Is that like a? You're missing a consonant at the end. John Carpenter's The Fog is Better. Yeah, I watched that as a kid. I absolutely love that film. And the worst part about it when I watched it as a little kid was it was set on the 21st of April, which is my birthday. So it was like extra scary.
Yeah. I bet it was. Right, we've got a lot of wardens, so do you want me to do the countdown?
Yeah, so we're just to be clear, everyone, we're doing the intro by Peter Purvis first.
Exactly, first, and that's 3 minutes. So if you don't have it, wait until we do another countdown, the second countdown,
Oh,
and then
just
we will play the
I'll just
episode.
do one countdown then, so it doesn't confuse people.
What?
Do you want me to just do a countdown when we've watched the intro?
Okay, yeah. So anybody has the intro, let me know in the chat now by pressing 1. If you don't have the intro, then we're just going to go ahead, watch the intro first, and then we're going to play the episode. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So if everybody has that one, press 1. If you don't, wait, and then we'll do a countdown for the official episode.
Yeah, we've got 1-1.
Right. I say, okay, he's got it. Okay. Right, let's do it.
Okay. Well, I still think we need a countdown, so we're in
You will.
sync, so.
You will.
Okay,
You will.
so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Someone's sound is audio is bleeding through.
Really sharp. Yeah.
Trial of a Time Lord theme.
Yeah. Which I like. I know a lot of people don't like.
I think that era of Doctor Who music, it's so synthy. You either love it or you hate it. It's so of its time.
There's just no way it's like the Peter Howell theme. I mean, Peter Howell just made a masterpiece when he composed it.
Okay, when are we actually getting to his second intro?
Yeah, right.
It's just showing pictures and chumblies.
Right.
You twats. BBC.
I suppose we've got to count our blessings, though, that they didn't, like, junk the majority of his first series. So at least we got the proper beginning. Because in the BBC's logic, I'm half surprised they didn't do that. Just because they're absolute idiots.
Well, the BBC didn't realise that Doctor Who would be such this worldwide phenomenon. They thought it would just fade after a couple of episodes during the Hartnell era. So, but back then in 1978, they decided to kind of get rid of all the Doctor Who's to make it way for new films, new TV programs, etc. and that. And so they decided to take all these reels out and just burn them. And I mean, there was some great television they've destroyed anyway.
I hear the rumor that Murray Gold will come back. Listen, I spoke about this on my Twitter. I'm gonna say it on the channel, right? Those people that are talking about Murray Gold, right? They don't have any leaks, right? They're not getting any official confirmation. They're basically speculating on people that RTD has worked with in the past. That's it. And this is stuff I spoke about on my channel last year. Anyway, is there a possibility of him coming back?
To what he's saying.
Is there a possibility of another composer coming in? Absolutely. Don't be listening to those idiots. They think they know everything.
Yeah, no, I saw that. And then when I actually tried to track it, it was like, oh, so nobody's actually said this. Like, even by the usual standards, this is bad when it comes to rumours.
Right, so that's it.
Now we're at countdown time.
Yeah, so do you want me to do it now?
Yeah.
Right, just sure, just get everyone to say they're ready. Just press a 1 in the
that's
chat.
what I was thinking.
First episode, 400 Dawn.
Yeah, but that side are making up rumours now. And remember, this is this very same side that was going around attacking people for saying that they were getting leaks, and what's in their thumbnails leaks and stuff. Don't be listening to them. They're all frauds. They're not getting any information from Bad Wolf Studios. None at all. They're all speculating or they're robbing other people's rumors and using them as their own. And that's a fact.
Well, they used to do that. They used to call you a liar, then they
and they'd steal my rumors. Exactly.
Later and then say it's theirs, you know.
Yeah. It's their typical thing that they do. Don't be listening to them. Anyway, we got a couple of ones in the chat, so I reckon we're good to go.
Yes, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh. I've seen the animation and I've got the animation and I think it's not as good as what it could have been.
Well, it's the likenesses. I've just seen some like still shots for this.
Yeah, the likenesses of William Hartnell and well, I've got a wee bit likeness of Peter Purvis and it's Vicky as well. That's the likeness, isn't there?
See, there is some footage, but some of it is audio as well. Don't worry about the audio bleeding through, folks. As soon as we hear it, we'll turn it down. Sometimes it happens.
And sometimes it's just obviously the intro and stuff that's higher volume naturally.
But we will figure out a way eventually how we won't be able to hear any of that.
Yeah.
Hey, Wookie.
Yo.
I mean, the black and whites are quite riveting in that, and you know they're quite entertaining in the way that the fact that they didn't have very much budget back then to kind of create as much as they possibly could, and they've done the best with what they had, and you know it's the acting in this that is the main thing. I mean, you've got great performances from William Hartnell, Maureen O'Brien, and Peter Purvis in this.
Yeah, and even the reconstructions, you can see the amount of effort and love that goes into them to get all the images and to try and match it to the audio. So even this is a labour of love, you can tell when you watch them.
It's a pity, though.
Yeah, it is a pity. Because I remember buying the Doctor Who magazines back in the kind of mid-90s and that, and they would release issues with the telesnaps in it and complete episodes in that, issue by issue.
Yeah.
And I remember reading them and all that and get entertained by them, and you know, I was at that point understanding that they were missing episodes of Doctor Who and that, and I was quite saddened by it because, I mean, they do look good episodes.
This is the St. John's Ambulance badge there.
Yeah.
And I remember actually at the time when Matt Smith's TARDIS had it, and everybody's saying, "Oh, that's not the way the TARDIS should be." It just goes to show you how clueless some people are out there. It's ridiculous. Don't be trying to educate someone about the show that's watched it longer than you and knows every facet of the show.
I like it. I think it suits the TARDIS to have the St. John thing on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about the Glasgow one is it had a panel for the fire and the emergency services and the police all in one in the panel, so that they could access that through the receiver. And there was different there was different labels in the panels anyway.
It'll be interesting to see if RTD actually keeps with it or changes the TARDIS again.
Well, I
hope
don't
he
think he'll
does.
stray too far. I've got a feeling he won't stray too far. He'll do something different. Oh.
I would like the windows to be the right size this time.
Yeah. It'd be great if RTD brought back the roundels again. Like the TARDIS was like a kind of hermetically sealed chamber. Like the double doors.
Because obviously his first interior, which he sort of kept for both Doctors, was quite natural looking, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
it'd be
Kind of
interesting
organic
to see
coral.
if he wants to keep with that theme,
Yeah.
or if he wants to go more in a classic vein and make it look very technical again. Make it look like a machine almost again inside.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. These are things to look forward to,
Yeah. And it was interesting that Matt's second TARDIS interior and all that, it was like you had panels all around and lots of switches and all that, and it was Michael Pickwood that had designed it and based the design off the Large Hadron Collider. And he put a lot of elements in there, and the carousel at the top as you can see that the Gallifreyan symbols move around in
Yeah,
the
'cause
carousel.
I think I've always think on the interior, and I've thought this more since I've watched more classic. You need to see it proper move. You need to actually see that motion now for me for it to sort of click that the TARDIS is flying.
Yeah. Because it's the time rotor that kind of tells you, because of the motion going up and down, that the TARDIS is in flight, and you can also see that the rotor was missing in quite a lot of the New Who episodes, because the rotor actually rotates as it's traveling through time, and sometimes when the ship lands and you can see the rotor is in stationary, you can see that it's just turning in slow motion.
I've always thought whenever you get still shots of Bill, because of his natural face, he just
Yeah.
looks more grumpy, doesn't he? Because
I'm actually enjoying this.
Yeah.
Like, I've watched them before years ago. Well, I forgot how much I actually enjoyed them. They're actually well put together.
That's what I mean. You can really see the attention to detail.
Yeah. As you said,
Yeah.
the labour of love that's gone into it, you can see.
I just used my imagination to kind of imagine what it would be like. I just thought in my mind.
But isn't that the point of these telly snaps? That's the point.
Yeah.
You got the music in the background. You can use your own imagination. That's what I like about these. These reconstructions don't actually, for fans like us, we give them the credit. They don't get enough credit, in my opinion. When unfortunately there are some episodes. Look at the animation debate will go on for years whether it was the right thing or not to do animations of classic episodes, but they've done them, right? But some fans would prefer these over the animations, so it's always going to divide. But I'm glad that both options really are available. But my main gripe with the animations is they change a lot of things that originally would have happened in episodes, and they change it themselves. We've seen the couple of changes in a few animations. No. If you're not going to make it the way it was made back then, you shouldn't make it at all, in my opinion. So
well, yeah, and also we've seen it start with very sort of not that important little things to now fully inserting characters from the modern run into classics, and it's like, no, you should never insert a character that has no right being there in a classic story.
Well, with the animation DVDs that I've got, they do include the telesnaps as well,
gonna
and
say, I
the
think they
narration
do.
as well.
Because I still need to, because I got a while ago and I haven't even had time to proper look at all the special stuff. I have got Power and Evil, like the proper DVDs, so I haven't had time to fully look at the specials, and I need to.
Yeah, I can't, again, like Galaxy 4, I can't find Evil. And I really want to watch the animated
It's too
version.
early yet, sadly, for it to come online.
I'm surprised that site doesn't have it, but
it will soon.
It will at some point.
I'm surprised BritBox doesn't, but then I heard ITV is taking over BritBox completely now. BBC has nothing.
Are they?
Yeah.
Wow, it must have not worked out for the BBC then, for what they wanted.
It was never going to work out. I remember when it was first announced, there was a lot of videos at the time saying that this wouldn't actually work.
So does that mean they're going to pull all of Classic Who, you think, from BritBox?
No, I say there'll be some. I say there'll be some deal done, but most of the content from here on in will be ITV content.
Oh, but they'll keep Classic, yeah, because
they'll keep on. Well, they'd be stupid to get rid of it because then
that's what I'm thinking. But the BBC wants it gone, they can just yank it. Maybe you never know. These are such odd little robots, aren't they?
Yeah. Now it's BritBox on this side of the water. I don't know if BritBox in America now, whether BBC America and ITV America have come up with some deal to keep it on over there, or it just affects the UK market. But yeah, BBC is pulling out of BritBox.
Well, like if the BBC are pulling out, I can't see BBC America staying, considering they've got funding issues right now, on money issues.
See, here's the thing: BritBox was a good idea, but it was a good idea 6 years ago.
Yeah,
well, BritBox should be what the iPlayer is,
exactly.
But they found a way of getting people to pay a subscription for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd much rather pay a subscription for BritBox than watch anything free on iPlayer, to be honest.
Well, iPlayer, the last couple of years, they have, from hardly having anything old on it, they have been dumping old shows on iPlayer.
They shopped everything from iPlayer onto BritBox, all the classic stuff. Smart move, but that's the BBC right there for you. Even though you've paid for this stuff over and over and over and over and over again, they still find new ways to make you pay for it.
Liam Neeson's chin. We are on Galaxy 4, the first episode, but we're watching the reconstructions.
Yeah, the recon.
So timestamp coming up to 12 minutes, like 30, probably by the time you find it. Shifting myself. They're like proper little Barbie dolls, don't they? Yeah.
Sorry?
I said they look like proper little Barbie dolls.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose if you're watching the animated version, it will be the same length, wouldn't it, really? Roughly.
Yeah.
Well, watch the animated, Liam. But, like I said, just so you know, we're watching the reconstructions.
Yeah. So we're just over halfway first episode.
Yeah, and we've got a bit of actual footage now.
Yeah, we've been getting some footage. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, look at the spaceship interior in here. It looks quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good sets.
They must have had a little bit of budget to kind of build this.
The rest we kill.
The telly
Feminine
snaps, yes. The reconstructions are the telly snaps, Liam.
Feminist, fascist, space fascist. Space feminist fascist.
Very interesting civilization.
Yeah, we kill men. Yeah, very interesting.
That's not this polite version of "you're all crazy." So they're basically Amazons in space.
Yeah. Ooh. Mm-hmm.
They are cute. God, imagine if Jamie was running around in this story.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
he'd be trying to pull one of them, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that would just go so badly. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm not even going to try and be Scottish," but he'd just be like, "Oh, they're nice," and he'd just be like, "No, Jamie, they're going to kill you. Stop."
I do like the Chum Boys. I think they're quite cool.
They're very 60s. That's what's nice about them, the
Yeah.
design.
They remind me of something like the garden ornaments.
Because the costumes make me think of the Jetsons that the women are wearing.
And like the mechanoids, I mean, there's been nothing successful other than the Daleks and the Cybermen.
Mm.
Yeah, even New Who hasn't managed to. Like, they've had some
Yeah.
other successful monsters, but nothing.
I'm really enjoying the music soundtrack. I think it's really nice and sci-fi and creepy.
Yeah, to just keep ramming the door. That will work for you, little robot.
And it's like much of the classic Hartnell episodes, they have got an interesting plot and an interesting storyline. And I mean, it's simply done and simply constructed, and it's quite enjoyable.
I think as well, yeah, this is nice because it feels like now they finally are starting to settle as this team of the Doctor, Vicky, and Stephen. So now you're starting to get into a new rhythm with a new team and to see how it's slightly different.
And it looks like they've taken the window panes out the TARDIS prop, because you can see that it's just completely dark inside. I mean, I have to give credit to the TARDIS, the exterior police box design that was in the animation, because it's absolutely spot on.
Yeah, it's just everything's set from faces.
Yeah.
So they get all the props right.
Yeah. But except the TARDIS roundels, I mean, they didn't quite get them right for that one, and also I think for the coming, is it that there's another one. I think it's Abominable Snowmen.
No, we've not had that animation yet. I think that's the next one.
Yeah.
And I think we've not seen. They've not released a trailer. I don't think so for that. Yeah.
And also, there's a rumor that they might be doing the Daleks Master Plan in animation.
Well, that's like how many parts?
I think it's a 6-parter.
I thought it was more than 6.
Or a
Dalek
wee bit
Master
more than
Plan.
that.
That's why I remember thinking in my head, oh God, when they get around to animating that, it'll be a job.
Yeah.
Maybe it is just 6 then.
Or what they could do is they could animate a couple of them and just keep the existing episodes, and kind of like what they've done with the invasion, the Patrick Troughton story and the invasion.
Yeah,
they could just have a couple of.
Lisa said that's a 12. That's a 12-parter.
12-parter. Oh my!
So unless they've got a lot, like, is there a lot of it missing that story, or is it half here and half missing? Because then you only have to animate maybe 6.
I think there's two two existing episodes. You've got the day of Armageddon, and you've got Counterplot. These
Still
are
is
two
a lot
existing
to animate,
episodes.
though. That means 10 episodes they're going to have to animate. They do that story.
Yeah.
Which I just it could be that one, but I've always thought that would be a hefty one to do because of the parts.
Right, are we ready for episode 2?
Yeah, I was going to say that. Sorry, the only reason why I had my sound off is because the washing machine was a spin and I didn't want to interrupt while people were talking. So while we have a bit of a break now, Charlotte, if you want to do the countdown, I've already told people to press 1 in the chat already. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. We are on track of Steel.
Yeah. And remember, this is the last part tonight. 2 weeks from now, we finish up this story, and then I won't make the same mistake. But I have to say, I've rather enjoyed this, though.
Yeah, not bad.
So I don't know. Maybe we should reconsider doing some of the reconstructions. We'll see what the panel thinks.
I think it depends with how many parts a little bit for that, because this is only a 4-parter, so it's quite a nice one to. If it's a massive one with reconstructions, maybe not. Yeah, because I was just thinking they'll probably have some animation announcements around the 60th, you'd think, wouldn't you? So we probably are due next year for some announcements.
It would be interesting to know if Bad Wolf Productions was going to look into the animations.
Well, we know obviously it'll be whoever does it.
Yeah.
Whoever picks them up, it will not be the usual studios, you'd guess, because BBC America have pulled out of it.
So it might be Sony in Bad Wolf Productions. I don't know.
Actually, I even forgot about that. Yes, that's even more sort of exciting to see what they do. If it is going to be a completely new house being behind them.
And then if there's more money going to be put into that, we could possibly see CGI animations.
Oh, I don't know. We'll have to see about that.
Yeah.
I think they'll see if they get their money first with traditional animation, and then maybe. But I could still only see them doing CGI for like really well loved missing episodes, like
Power of the Daleks.
Yeah, maybe Fury, because I know people weren't happy with the animation for that. So maybe they might have another crack at it. And it's a really fan favourite story. Marco Polo is one that we all want, Liam. We'll have to see if they actually get round to doing it. Because they have actually addressed that one and said currently there's no way for them to do it.
I really don't understand how, because I mean there is possible ways of doing that. I mean, why don't they want to do it? Is it because of too much character action?
No, from what I know, and people obviously know more in the chat, happily correct me, because it's such a set piece heavy historical episode, they have said it would be too much basically work to do because of how much settings and costumes and everything that is in that story.
Yeah.
That's why I think maybe at some point they'll probably do it, but they've said not at the moment. But like we said, we'll see, because obviously now it's a bit different going forward what the animations could do if they've got a bigger budget, possibly, when they get picked up again.
So they eat leaves.
Yeah.
The dragons.
Yum.
I do, though, find it amazing that BBC junked the footage but somehow kept the audio. I never quite understood that. Would they not have
the
junked
audio
the
was
audio?
recorded off of people's TV. It was one fan who recorded shitloads of shitloads of audio onto tape when it was broadcast and kept them.
Right.
And luckily, had a whole bunch of them. And
they must have had very good quality recording equipment, because it's really clear, the audio.
Very lucky.
Yeah, I'm very lucky because of the microphones back in the days, because they must have had the microphone on dead center into the to the speaker.
Because it's obviously, I'm not saying every line's like crystal clear, but it's still pretty good.
Well, I think what happened was there was a bunch of audio recorded by various fans, but then there was one fan in particular who recorded everything, and it was in better quality.
Right.
And then they remastered it to make it more clearer. So I think this is the pre-master version.
'Cause I've always thought that.
I suspect they recorded a lot of off-air recordings, even from existing stories.
Yeah, but I've always thought that. Even when I watch the animations, and it's like perfect. You can't. Unless it's like purposefully supposed to be a bit muffled. The line you can pretty much hear it 98% of the time.
Yeah.
Oh, Liam said some people have a problem with what they believe are stereotypes in Marco Polo. Well, I've not heard that as the official. I've heard the official one is
They can
it's
fuck off.
too hard, basically, because it's a really big historical.
I've given up listening to any of these ridiculous people. It's pointless. These people live in absolute abject ignorance.
Well, your context doesn't exist, mate.
Well, I mean, it's of its time, you know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Context.
And you can't erase that. I mean, that. Well, I mean, the BBC did, but I mean, really, you can't look at the historical things recorded in a historical context and then just go, well, it's bad, therefore it shouldn't. I mean, it's complete nonsense, you know. You've got to look at the attitude of the 60s in context of the 60s, you know.
That's why in the television, when they broadcast something, they always put a wee description saying, like, because this was made in another kind of decade or something like that, the views maybe differ from today.
Oh, I hate that. I mean, of course it is. I mean, it's so bloody patronizing. Yeah. I mean, audiences were more sophisticated in the 60s because they weren't, you know, so completely hecked up on absolute nonsense.
And it's the same way Benny Hill. I mean, Benny Hill I think it was banned from television for a few years or something like that.
Yeah.
And
well, I don't
then
think we'll
it's
ever
come
see him
back
repeat on TV.
Oh God, no.
And that's stupid.
I just can't understand. There's some people, because I mean, what was funny back then is not funny now. I just can't get that at all.
Well, I mean, it's even things like, you know, characters like Alf Garnett. You know, he's a bigoted, racist character, but the point was they were taking the piss out of him.
Yeah, they were taking shots at that type of character.
Yeah, and you know, that won't get played again today because people call it racist. It's like you're missing the point.
Yeah. But they're missing the point, because there was a lot of truths in Alf Garnett and his wife and all that, and they would speak about how the world was changing and all that, and it would be like they would be the conspiracy theorists of their day, and they would have their own ideas of how things were and that, and they'd put subtle hints in the episodes, and that's what basically a lot of people are missing. They're missing all the subtle truths that were put in these episodes. I mean,
context and nuance is not one of their favorite things.
Oh
no.
God. I can't help but think their little base, just from the outside, I do agree it's the lovely inside. From the outside, it just looks like a caravan. Like they've just put some panels on a caravan.
You've got all the BBC sound equipment in there, you know, for the roles.
The thing about Doctor Who in the 60s, it did a lot of hiring. You know, all that electronic equipment and the scientific equipment, they hired it from Shawcraft models or wherever.
Yeah, they borrowed, or they went in the BBC cupboard and see what they could find and dragged it out.
Yeah. And actually,
you know, the general audience at the time wouldn't know any different.
They appear in other movies as well, if you can, and if you can look closely, like James Bond, they can appear in some panels and can appear in James Bond, and I think the rail counter that appeared in the Dalek Invasion of Earth 2150 appeared in James Bond. I can't remember one. I don't know if it was Thunderball or. It
I
was
can't help you with
the
Bond
countdown.
movies.
I mean, back then in the 60s, sets didn't get destroyed like they do
Oh no,
now.
they got
I
put
mean,
in a corner to be used again.
yeah, they get remade, reused again, like the Earthshock helmets get reused for the Trial of the Time Lord. What really disappoints me about the animation is you need Hartnell's facial expressions because it was really important, because that was like a kind of trait to his character as the Doctor, and that kind of made you believe that that was that was his character. And because the animations are so kind of limited in their movements and all that, it just doesn't kind of equal out.
Leaf. Nice bit of salad. Lovely.
I wonder what these leaves do.
You'd think if they ate nothing but leaves, they'd be green, wouldn't they? With all the chlorophyll.
That's something else, though.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, but
Yeah,
another thing
from
that
Viagra plants.
Oh, but another thing for me, I'm like, if Russell does a male companion in any sense, whether that's like as a second companion or like they jump on later on, look at Classic Who. Look at how they did male companions, Russell. That's your template.
What was interesting is how Classic Who done the companions. The companions stumbled upon the Doctor or threw themselves upon the Doctor's adventures and like that, and they became a part of it and all that. And the Doctor at the beginning was reluctant to accept them, and because the Doctor was this traveller, he wanted to travel on his own and that, and it was very reluctant to take people on board the TARDIS, but in the end, the kind of Melody's character, it was like what they couldn't really do with, they tried to do with Peter Capaldi, but it didn't seem to work. They could have done that way, but it's like changing Clara's personality all the time. It just didn't seem to work. I mean,
Oh,
you have an
Clara,
established.
Clara was the sort of the pinnacle of all the stuff that was sort of getting
Yeah.
worse and worse with the modern day companion, which was important to the plot. Like, I think Russell needed to do what he did at the beginning and make the companions have a bit more to do. But by the time you got to Clara, it was like all the bad tendencies of doing that were on full show. Whereas I think they're important, but they should never take the limelight away from the Doctor.
Yeah. And there's a thing about writing the companion. You have to write the companion based upon a real person, not a fictional person, not a cardboard cutout person. It's got to be kind of 3D. It's got to kind of relate to an audience. It's got to relate to like basically everyone, and it's got to kind of drag you into the story and all that. And it's that's what was interesting about Doctor Who, is because you had that element of the companion, and the companion was there to kind of lead you into the Doctor's world.
I do love Vicky and the dogs. So cute. It's a proper little granddaughter and grandfather now.
Yeah. And at that time that when Carl Ford left, I
Yeah.
mean, Hartnell was very kind of upset about that, and you know and then when Maureen O'Brien came along, it was like we have a team again, and it's like Ian and Barbara and Vicky, and it was like him and his team came back.
But there's just such lovely chemistry between, I think, Maureen and Bill that you can,
Yeah,
unless they're just very good at putting it on screen, there just seems to be this natural sort of, they're both curious and they play off
yeah,
each other and they sort of care for each other but can be quite cross. Like, it's a lovely little relationship.
yeah. I mean, she's got a lot of his mischievousness as
Yeah,
well.
you can,
You can
and
see.
Susan didn't have that, I don't think. Susan did
No.
not have that mischievous streak at all, whereas Vicky definitely has.
With
She has a little
Susan, she
grin.
was more or less the there to scream and trip over and all that, and you
Yeah, she was
know
the
it was like
damsel. She was more of the
the damsel
damsel.
in distress. That's what majority of us see the Doctor's companions are, is the damsel in distress. As John Pertwee said that he had his cloak was like the wings of the mother hen, and he says, and the companion was trapped to a railway or something like that, and the train was coming, and the Doctor was there to kind of save the companion, but it really turns out the other way around. The companion's there to save the Doctor.
Yeah, I think that's why to understand it better, it's not that the companion can't do anything.
Yeah,
It's just, I think all doctors should almost have what Pertwee was talking about, is this mother
yeah,
hen quality of it, that
yeah,
because they've brought these people onto these dangerous adventures,
yeah,
they can be a bit overprotective. They can be a bit sort of, no, I have to keep you safe. And that's what a
yeah.
doctor should do. No, but I really like Vicky. I think she's a very natural evolution on Susan. Like I said, you see some similarities with the youth, like the
Yeah,
young girl, the sort of wanting to go out and do more. But with Susan, she was a lot more sort of in the background at times and a bit needing help. Whereas Vicky, she's a lot more independent. But like I said, she's got that little streak in her. That little, like, I'm going to cause mischief. And I think the Doctor sees that as well and likes that in her. Because they'll both be giggling away sometimes in a scene. Like two little school children.
They'll all be wiped out.
all be wiped out. Oh dear. The design of the rill was, I think it was intended to be this kind of gruesome reptilian kind of beast thing.
It's almost like an early sea devil.
Yeah, it was meant to be like that, and I think that the fact that the story was that the Rills were evil and bad, and they were fighting with the Dravens, and of course that we in the end of the story we know who the bad person really is in this. It's really the ones that's claiming out to be the goodies.
Well, that's usually how it goes, isn't it? Especially, I think, in Bill's run, you'd have a lot of
Yeah.
that. A lot of misguided sort of
Yeah.
folks. And there's also some nasty pieces, but I think
Yeah.
there is also some that you think, you don't realise you're the bad guy, do you? Sort of
Yeah.
characters.
It's like Doctor Who is a bit educational in some way. It's got that intention to kind of educate right from wrong. Back then in the 60s, they did things in a way that, like to show children right from wrong through episodes such as this. That good always triumphs and evil always fails. And I think that is quite important because, as Verity Lambert says, Doctor Who is a part of growing up, and she was right about that. I actually wonder if there was a creature inside the Chumbly, or the Chumbly was just like a kind of
It's
robot,
just a robot.
a servo robot.
I think if there was a living creature inside, that would have shown it.
Yeah. I think
You got a Dalek control room noise there. Dude.
No. See, that's how they recycle sound as well and everything in the classics. They never waste anything.
Maybe they were like proto Daleks.
Baby Daleks.
Baby Daleks, yeah.
I would have liked Doctor Who to have an episode of a baby Dalek. Like not a baby Dalek, but you know what I mean, like pre-Genesis of the Daleks.
Also, very early designs, almost, or goes at a Dalek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the Doctor traveling back and attempting to assassinate it, and the companion therefore to kind of stop him and get him to realize that what he's really actually doing.
Yeah, but the problem is you're basically doing Genesis then again.
Yeah.
By the end of that sort of story. That's the problem.
The ultimate Genesis.
Yeah, the ultimate. That's the problem. It would. I think if you would, like I said, if that was like the first version of a type of story, then they did Genesis afterwards. But I think after Genesis, you'd just be seen as copying and trying to do the same sort of thing.
The Doctor actually forgetting that because this incarnation just wants to try and change the history of the Daleks, they could actually do that.
Right. That's the episode done. That was interesting, wasn't it?
Yep.
So what we'll do is we'll start with Charlotte. Charlotte, if you just want to briefly, because obviously we're going to do a full review of it in 2 weeks' time. But what have you enjoyed what you've seen so far?
Yeah, because this is my first reconstruction, so I knew what they were, but I hadn't seen one yet. And I think if anything, actually, because I can say this is more of a general thing, because obviously I don't want to say too much about the story. It is just impressive, the amount of work, and you can see that how much they have got everything they could together, and how they've paired the audio with the stills, and it does flow, even though it's a very different type of way to tell a story. So I'd say the actual effort and the way they did the reconstruction really impressed me. And then the story, I think, was a good. It's a good intrigue starting point for the story. We'll see how it goes when we see the rest of it.
That's it. Lee, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say they did a lot of sort of telesnap comic strips back in the day.
Yeah.
You used to have like scenes, you know, or photographs and build a story like a comic book strip. So it kind of does remind me somewhat of those days. So I think that's where they got the idea from. And then, you know, put it together. And it's an admirable job. You know, obviously this was done prior to sort of digital mastering of audio. So like the sort of muffled recordings are not really treated or mastered. So it's quite difficult to hear what's being said. It would have been better, I think, if they had subtitles as well. But the first episode, I quite enjoyed that one. The second one sort of drags a bit. And I think because there's less footage in this one, and the audio is, again, sort of more muffled. So I'm like struggling to listen. And obviously, as we're sort of talking through it, it's quite difficult to hear exactly what's being said. And I think the pacing of the second episode is like quite typical of this era. It's quite slow. And then at the end, you get the sort of reveal of the real. So yeah, be nice to see, because I haven't seen this one, so it'd be nice to see it through to the next episode and see what happens. I know it's not a popular story, I know that much. Especially the animation was panned quite badly. But anyway, I'll see.
Fantastic, real super doctor.
I think it's more or less kind of easier watch than the animation. I mean, you can actually really get into the story when you're looking at the telesnaps, and you can use your imagination and to feel the experience of what the episode was actually like by the audio. I think the muffled audio kind of makes it a little bit kind of the 60s episodes a bit kind of creepier and all that, and gives a bit of kind of suspense along with the music and all that. I think that the first episode is very interesting. It's like your basic Hartnell episode. The Doctor stumbling upon on a new planet, and the all the curiosity of what's actually going on, and then finding themselves tied in a kind of in a tie between two alien races and that, and you know it's a story. It is an interesting story, Galaxy 4, about two species, and when and in the end it's not what it seems, and we're quite kind of well, when I've seen the episode, it's quite surprising that when we find out that one is the one we always thought was the baddie and they were claiming was the baddie was actually the goodie, and the other ones were wanting to steal the real spaceship and that. It's the set's nicely done for the time, because you can see in the photographs that they didn't have much money, and the Draven spaceship, they must have went over budget for that, so they kind of had to kind of have painted walls and all that, and limited studio access. And back then, they must have filmed in Lime Grove Studios, or I think for this one. I quite like the Chumblies. I think they're quite a great design, a kind of 60s kind of space vibe. You had kind of the Dravens are kind of 60s, like say space women and that, and you know it's very much of its time. But I quite look forward to the rest of the episodes and the reconstructions.
Yeah, can't actually wait to watch the rest of it myself. I do agree with Lee. I think the second one kind of does drag out a little bit. The first one was a lot more interesting because there is a lot more, obviously, footage. Yeah, and there's a lot more footage. But look, we don't know what we're gonna get in part 3 and 4. We could get a bit more footage, which will be great. But overall, I'm actually impressed. You can see the love and attention that's gone into it. I do agree with you, Lee. It would have been nice to have subtitles. I think subtitles would have worked very well with this, especially in the parts where the sound is quite muffled. But, you know, a dedicated team put these together so we could get some idea what these stories were
loving
like.
the Radio Workshop music. The soundtrack I really like.
Yeah, soundtrack is actually decent in this story. I agree. But yeah, look, you know, it was a mistake to do this in the first place, but I'm kind of glad. It's a nice little mistake. I've enjoyed it so far, so we'll see. I've seen some people have given it a rating so far. We don't do ratings the first week when we do stories anymore. Better off keeping your ratings until next week. But I have seen the 6 and the 7 there and stuff, so that's pretty impressive. But what we'll do is we'll do channel shout outs now, and we'll start with Charlotte.
Yeah, so last night we had on Daniel's channel we had Lovely Lee, and we just did a sort of talk about anything type of stream. So you want to watch us all have a bit of a ramble? Last night we did that, and then Type 40 we're back doing the live shows we have for a couple of weeks now, and we did Ask Us Anything. So if you want to see me answer some questions, we did that. And then obviously you'll catch me here at weekends and whenever else. Sort of on. So that's me.
Fantastic. Lee.
Yeah, you can find me on Daniel's channel having a knitter natter with Charlotte and Daniel on the Legend himself's channel. I'll put the link in a minute when I can't think and talk and do things at the same time.
Multitasking hard.
You can find my channel with my work on there, which is Ordred Audio Visual, and that's it.
Right, fantastic. Real Super Doctor.
You can find me on YouTube under Real Super Doctor, and you can find me on Twitter under Real Super Doctor.
Fantastic. And tomorrow here we have...
I'm so excited because it's the 50th tomorrow.
The 50th anniversary episode tomorrow. So join us for that. That should be very interesting. It's been a while since we watched it, but I'm looking forward to it, I have to say. So the 50th tomorrow, folks. 50th anniversary. So go and look for that. I'm pretty sure some of you have it on DVD or Blu-ray. I mean, I think everybody might have bought that when that came out. So yeah, we're watching that tomorrow. Be looking forward to it. So yeah, that's it. We'll be back tomorrow. And nothing else really to say except, you know, Chris Chibnall screws up the Sea Devils. You better get on a plane and you better go into hiding because, you know, we've had enough of this rubbish now. The trailer does look impressive, but we already know it's going to be a pile of crap. It will be a pile of crap, by the way. There's nothing going to be good about this. And people ask me, how do I know? Well, some people have already watched the journalists. Some journalists have already seen it, and there's a select few that do get to watch stories like this before they're released. And from what I've seen, it's a terrible episode. So, yeah, brace ourselves because, you know, you never know. We're definitely going to get more of the Yaz and Doctor stuff as well because you want to pander to the idiots. So let's watch it and have a laugh as at its expense. Anyway,
the shippers are getting excited.
Yeah, let's all laugh at Jodie Whittaker and Mandip Gill, the two worst actresses in British television right now at the moment. You know, they've nothing to be celebrating about. BBC America is going on as if this is the greatest thing. Even the BBC press office. Listen, we've been watching this era now and been around for the last 5 years, right? Chris Chibnall is not going to deliver, right? So anybody out there thinking he's going to deliver, forget about it. He ain't. So don't just set yourselves up to be disappointed because you will be disappointed. I know for a fact that this is going to be rubbish. The fact that he's not even using the real woman from history tells you everything you need to know. It's going to be all, what rate do you say now? All this is going to be, the blokes are going to be fucking idiots, and all the women are going to be pointing fingers and giving out to all the blokes and shit, and you got the Sea Devils in the middle of all of that nonsense, and then maybe a kiss between the Doctor and Yaz. There you go. There's your episode wrapped up. You don't even have to watch. Anyway, until then, goodbye. See you later. Now, feck off.
Night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye. Oh, no. Before we do go, I actually have a show to recommend, and I don't normally do this, but it's very impressive. I'm 2 episodes in. It's got a good story about it. He's like a bit of horror as well, and he's like stuff about the shit that happens in a town. This is right down your alleyway. The show is called From, right? Check it out. I'm telling you now, 2 episodes in, absolutely brilliant.
And where can we find that?
You will find that on the usual app that we use, the movie app. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
But where can they find it legitimately?
I don't know. MGM, some fucking streaming service does it that we don't have. So just watch it where I told you to watch and stop being a bitch about it. It's something that I actually know that you will personally enjoy. This show is right down your alleyway. Telling you now, man. 2 episodes in and I'm fucking loving it. And you know what? We haven't seen much in the way. You'll see what I'm talking about. We haven't seen much, but that's what's great about it. They're building up the tension now. So it's a weird one, it is, but it's one of those shows that I know for a fact you like it. It's called From. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's well.
I recommend as well. Raised by Wolves, fantastic science fiction, absolutely incredible. Love it.
Yeah. And while we're at it, it seems that like Lee has just decided to throw his opinion in. I'll let Charlotte and John, any shows you would recommend.
Oh God!
Before we leave.
What have I been watching? Actually, I've been watching Afterlife on Netflix. You haven't
Afterlife season 3. I haven't watched it yet. Yeah, Cheryl keeps asking me, "Have you watched?" Because she already watched it. She says, "Have you watched Afterlife?" I said, "No," because you have to be emotionally prepared for that.
Yeah, you do.
Right? No, because every season 1, my heart was broken, and you know what I'm talking about. There was a scene in it, sad with the junkies, the heroin addict. That was that bleeding fucking gutted me. I liked him and all I did, and that scene between him and Ricky was just fucking perfect. And then season 2 was just as good. So I know it's gonna be. Oh, I'm not mostly prepared for this shit. Anyway, I'll have to watch it soon because if I don't, Cheryl's gonna end up ruining it. She won't do that, but she's getting impatient because she wants us then to sit down and watch it together. But unfortunately, I won't be able to watch it with her. Because she'd be like me, she'd be an emotional wreck, I'd be emotional wreck, and she gets really emotional, as you know. So, yeah. So, I'll watch it when I'm ready. I'm not ready yet. Go and watch From, though. Right? From. Oh, she's at the break and something. From. There's the episode there. That's the name of the episode.
Yeah, Real Super Doctor, have you got us doing recommendations now?
I haven't been kind of watching anything, but I've been watching the Real Ghostbusters animation series that are being broadcasted live on YouTube. They're quite good.
Yeah,
they take you back to your childhood. I used to watch it, and I think it was CITV back in the day. I used to watch it coming back from school, and used to watch it in every Saturday morning. About, I think it was 9:30, or maybe a wee bit later. But I used to kind of watch it, and it was on I think Motormouth or 73 or. Well, one of these anyway. I used to watch it, but it does bring back memories, and how good the animation is, and how painstakingly they done that animation, because it's just absolutely breathtaking how they've done that, and back then, and the energy that they had to kind of do such detailed animation, and instead of just the computer animation these days, and it's just easy.
Right.
I kind of recommend people watch the real Ghostbusters animations.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, listen, I watched it as a kid myself. Great little show. I also watched the Turtles show as well. That was
Yeah,
great. The Thundercats, all of that.
Yeah.
He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
You know, I actually quite liked the movie as well.
And Unity's
Yeah.
31, which was fantastic. It's so dark and mysterious. I loved that. Proper like science fiction odyssey, you know, the Greek Odyssey, but in space. Love it.
Yeah. Oh, the moon's disappeared now. Okay. That's normal. Okay, we're gonna go before there's an alien invasion. See you later, folks. And listen,
Good
if
night.
you do get taken over by aliens and stuff like that, remember it's your own fault because we're stupid. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Come on.